and just really highlight, as frustrating as this new tier thing is to the community. I know a lot of us, including myself, it took me months to go out and after we were released to go out in public and enjoy restaurants again and things like that. A lot of us are very frustrated with that. I just want to point out that these things, as much as we are trying to help our businesses and trying to expand, even every effort is made to expand upon what the minimum criteria is to the best of our ability and making sure that we're supporting small businesses. I just want people to be mindful that we can't overrule the state and the state public health director, and our county health director has not even gone any further than the state health director. And I'm just really, because people have asked, I've gotten text messages about, would I support, will we support sanctuary cities? And I think what the discussion we're not having is what's at stake with that. I know a lot of people, they make their own decisions. I've seen some business owner take, the risk and see what's going to happen if they kind of defy the order. But for us as a city, it's important to know that it's millions of dollars for the city, and cities are hurting. We as a city are hurting and making every adjustment that we can make. And it's really important that for us to do as much as we can to come together. Yes, to support our small businesses, also to support our students and their mental health, and our parents who have to make adjustments on how they're going to educate their students. So this is, I mean, 2020 has been, quite a ride, especially with COVID. And I just want our community to know that, we hear you and definitely heard you loud and clear out there at the fountain this afternoon. And to the best of our ability, this is giving the support, but that as a community, we're doing the best we can to try to offer support and not be more restrictive than the state. And I definitely think that I can speak for all of the council members here. We're definitely not trying to set a double standard, but also trying to support our businesses and our community as much as possible, and would be willing to entertain suggestions that will not put us at odds with the state, because I know the city and counties that did do that are now, suffering from additional burdens on the community, which only help hurt that community.
I just have to say that I'm really concerned with some of the things that I've heard here tonight. And I think it's so important that this is an issue that has touched all of us. But we really need to take care to not let emotion take the place of what needs to be based on fact and data. As we develop policy, we really need to make sure that we're utilizing data-driven solutions. And what I hear over here about contemplations and connections to the flu, this is not the flu. And we need to be very clear in how we proceed. One needs to be done in accordance with the law. I will not subject the city to policies which would put us at risk of losing funding that we need when we are in a very precarious fiscal situation. In order to be fiscally responsible, we need to make sure that we're acting in accordance with the law. And then ultimately, we need to ensure that as we move forward, we do need to support our businesses. And today I reached out to the Downtown Association, I reached out to the Chamber of Commerce, really to work with them to enact policies that will help support our downtown businesses while remaining responsible. Because we do have a fiduciary obligation to our city, we have a duty to fiscal responsibility, but we have a duty to the public safety of each and every member of this community. And so we really need to make sure that as we move forward, we're looking at the data and we're evaluating it, and we're working with the experts in their fields and evaluating the data as we proceed to move forward responsibly. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
I was out front today talking to the folks out gathered in front of City Hall, and I also talked to some news agency that wanted to interview me about this. And one question, and this is for you, Counselor, that the news agency tried to pin me down on is, are you guys going to enact like a sanctuary city for businesses? And of course, it's not the mayor's decision. This is an entire council decision to do if we ever took a step like that. But the reason I bring that up, can you tell us a little bit about that and what are the consequences of doing so?
Sure, Mayor. This is Leticia Ramirez, the city attorney. So there have been a couple or a handful of cities and counties that have declared themselves a sanctuary city for businesses, meaning that they are not following the state public health directives. And for those particular cities, the consequences of doing that have included not receiving CARES Act funding from the state. And that's something that that's been confirmed. In particular, there was a city in, I believe, Merced County, if I'm not mistaken, that took that action, and it was a full city council action.
How much CARES Act funding do we get, approximately?
We received about 1.8 million, so 1.2 rounded.
Since March?
Correct, and they provide it to us in allocations, so you don't get it all at once.
Gift cards?
Kind of.
So where are these cases coming from here in San Joaquin County?
So they're really having a tough time identifying because it is widespread. I know that you had asked some questions previously about where some of the locations are and if they're occurring in restaurants, and that data hasn't changed since I inquired with the public health director in September. They've only had 4 cases, I think, in restaurants and 1 bar in terms of an outbreak in Stockton, and I believe the bar might have been in Lodi. And then they haven't had any reported outbreaks for church gatherings indoor.
And when you talk about an outbreak, correct me if I'm wrong, and what I was told is like an employee had it, but, you know, they dealt with that employee accordingly, but it didn't jump to patrons.
I believe it's 2 or more that occur in one location would be considered an outbreak.
Okay, but what I understood and what I was told was that it was confined to the employees, not to the patrons itself.
That I would have to confirm. I'm not aware.
All right, and there's nothing in churches. And, you know, we mentioned, you know, we need to use facts and data to make our decisions. And this is the issue I'm having. And am I happy about this? Absolutely not. Is that we have these cases going up here in San Joaquin County, and that, you know, jumps us back into next year. But we're punishing restaurants and bars in which there's been 4 cases, none in Tracy, and churches in which you just told me there's no outbreak at all in churches. But yet we have Home Depot still open. We have other businesses that, you know, are still open. Why are these businesses being punished if they're not the cause of this huge increase, you know, per data, per the facts that we have here in this county? You guys, I mean, what does Dr. Park say about that?
I wish Dr. Park was here to answer that question, and we certainly can come back with more detail around your inquiry.
And, you know, and we talk about safety, and I think, you know, we've done, and our restaurants have done, our churches have done, our people have done in this city. It's a great job. And I mentioned this, and you guys are probably, you know, tired of hearing me say it, but you only have to deal with me for another month. But it's the reason we have such a great city is because we have great people, and in times of crisis, we come together and we do the right thing. And it shows that we are doing that. I mean, my God, we were the first city in San Joaquin County, and we beat the county. I believe we beat the state in doing our directive to shelter in place. We were the first. So we have taken this serious since day one. But, you know, I want to echo our pro tem's concerns, and I have those same concerns. I know Justice Alito, our Supreme Court Justice, just mentioned this a few days ago, speaking at the Federal Society, I believe, and he was concerned, and he talked about the personal freedom potentially imperiled by government overreach during this pandemic. And, you know, and I think it's something that, you know, this council, you know, we need to, I mean, is money everything? I mean, I know it's $1 million, but I mean, my God, we can't, even yesterday, I went to go to my church, And I went to go open the doors and it was locked. You know what a horrible feeling that is? You know, and multiplied by that, millions of people that can't go in there and worship when they, want to worship. And again, this isn't thousands of people getting together. To me, it just seems it's so arbitrary that what business gets to stays open and what business gets to close. And, and then if you listen to the governor talk a few days ago, talks about a curfew. I mean, my God, I have never thought I would be even speaking about this, in the United States, unless it was a time of war. And, what are the, talk about facts and data. Where are these facts and data that say a curfew would be? Does coronavirus or COVID-19 magically disappear, or it doesn't exist between whatever time it was, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m., then from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m., it automatically, and so these are my concerns. I have, seen what, like the city of Atwater has done, a sanctuary city. But what I'm looking at here, I mean, I know the Supreme Court, let me see if I have the information here. And I can't seem to find it, of course, when I need it. But the Catholic Church, I think, if you correct me if I'm wrong, out of New York, has taken the case to the Supreme Court. And there has been cases, and I don't know what the counties are or the cities are, but have filed suit against the state on a variety, and our Letitia, Ms. Ramirez, we talked about it for some time today. Some constitutional rights like due process, equal protection, takings, the taking clause of the Fifth Amendment, the Commerce Clause, First Amendment right to free speech, assembly, petition, religion. I mean, that's something, I would like to, at least for the amicus brief, if that's something this council is willing to jump on or join other lawsuits with other counties and other cities in this state. And again, I just think if you follow the facts and you follow the data in this county, and I'm not talking about what's going on in Los Angeles County. Los Angeles County may have some huge issues, but we're not Los Angeles County, and we're not Los Angeles. So, that's something that I would, at least at the very minimum, join on with the amicus brief to the Supreme Court.